The number on the counter is 406. Half of that number is 203, which is my address here at this house. 23. The caption reads below, "You might like to hear the horns blowing." Well, only half of those horns. The other 5, the other 23 is blowing for your benefit, Benjamin. I am my brother's keeper, and Benjamin, I declare, is my brother. You might not understand what that means. I didn't understand the fullness of what it meant till sometime last night. But then I recalled some videos that I did for Bill's benefit. Everybody knows Bill, the red and blue pill Bill, the pill Billy, the Billy goat. Of course, as he does and how he does it, attacking and antagonizing and lying and thieving, all in his own way. I did some videos to benefit his understanding of what the truth is of the lion of the tribe of Judah. And in that video series, I discovered how far the love of Judah really goes for his brothers, even those of different mothers. And I, in a sense, came across the story of when Joseph, who now you should understand as Ephraim and Manasseh's father, this is when Joseph was, in essence, sold for the benefit of the other brothers, his other tribesmen of Israel. And there was a famine in the land of Canaan, and they had gone into Egypt looking for food and provisions. And what it was required to receive such was the giving of one of their own, so that the rest could benefit and survive at the cost thereof. And it just so happened to be Joseph that was given into this life of probable slavery. But then we see Joseph, in a sense, rises to prominence, and then Ephraim and Manasseh are born thereof. Well, not long after, as things like this tend to repeat themselves, the famine in Canaan returns. And the tribesmen, Israel, feeling the pains of hunger, wander into Egypt again. And they're looking for grain, provisions. And they come across Joseph, who now has risen to prominence in such a way that they cannot even recognize him, but Joseph recognizes them. And a deal is made once again for another brother, for the provisions of those that are using him for their self-righteous gain. And Benjamin is offered as the price for their survival, for their provision of material things. This didn't sit well with all of the brothers of the tribe, one of them being Judah. And as the tribesmen went back to foretell to Jacob, of which we find Benjamin was one of his favorites, and they say that they're going to have to sell Benjamin into slavery for their own survival. Well, as they bring Benjamin back to Egypt to complete the deal, at the last moment, Judah steps in and says, "Take me instead." At the last hour, the truth even of Jesus Christ from the tribe of Judah, the heritage symbolically and even otherwise fulfilling it, steps in to be his brother's keeper, just as Jesus Christ stepped in to be the keeper of us all by getting upon the cross and seeing it and living it and knowing it and then giving the truth of it all to us. Jesus Christ is his brother's keeper. Judah, the very tribe of Judah, the symbolic ancestry of Judah, has even stepped in the ancient past from micro to macro to be the keeper of Benjamin. Who would Benjamin be? Well, Benjamin, my friends, is right there. The darkened eye, the Benjamite. Andre Benjamin. Now these names will not escape the sight of the Spirit of Truth either. Will, we know that's what they believe they are with that color green and its power of will, of course, to move these mountains, which are related to the seal. We see that Pharaoh, if you understand what Pharaoh is, it represents a creature that is out of place, out of step. This will is Pharaoh, and we see its relationship even with these angels that kept not their first estate, in a sense with creatures that have migrated to a foreign land and overrun it. It's called a feral creature, a feral species, or a feral animal. Now, Woody Harrelson, of course, in relationship with the tree, with the wood, and then Harrelson, the connection with the hair of the mighty ones, the sons of Sam. And then, of course, now, Andre, connected with who? The giants. Of course, all of those that Israel sought to slay and destroy, in connection here with the Benjamites. Now, symbolically speaking, what I just said here at the last with the Andre and the giants is a major connection that would require an entire video series of hours worth to get you to see. But I think now we need to understand who Benjamin is in the Bible, so we can understand the connection with the left arm of Cornelius being wounded past, present, and future to keep these individuals down. So my friends, the 406, you might like to hear the horns blowing. Well, who might like to hear the horns blowing? 406, I said, is 10, right? Represents the 10 lost tribes of Israel, of which guess who is excluded? Benjamin and Judah. Everyone else is the lost tribes that is then being led by the 13th, that through the reduction of the other two, Benjamin and Judah, now he becomes the 11. The 11th member now is Ephraim, leading the other 10 into this destruction. This is what the 406, meaning the 10 horns now of the unicorns. But as I said, with the word unity doesn't mean it has harmony. They don't have harmony with the other races. They only have unity, segregation, and division. You might like to hear the horns blowing, Mr. Coffee Black. Right there. I'm about to have an audio outage. Please pay attention. They have changed this man's name over and over and over again. Now he's being called Coffee Black. Notice that it's the number 7, which to him would be a privilege again. He's being given the number of the crown chakra, right? But of course, it's the number of the vengeance of Cain sevenfold, as we see. Now we have Coffee Black, which would be wake up and smell the coffee, blacks, as they're saying. As they're saying, and you're going to see it with the next line about the blowing of the trumpets. Who should be hearing the blowing of the trumpets, at least from these 10 lost tribes, of which Benjamin is excluded? Wow. Man. What? You guys. This is Andre Benjamin. Okay, this is the guy that you see right here. His name is Benjamin. Literally, Andre Benjamin. And I said the Andre thing is the connection with the giants, as they're trying to connect this with the Nephilim seed, of which you know all the work that I've done reveals, of course, the Ma sons, the Mu sons, the Cow sons, the Cowboys, and then of course their Aryan connection, which can be expounded on for years worth of proof, supernatural and otherwise. You guys have no idea, really, if you are thinking that the Father in heaven, the Father in paradise, condones the destruction of his children. You are sadly mistaken. And there will be repercussions that will be felt in your time. I promise you. I promise you. I even hold particular keys to the significance of when all this takes place. I'm a part of the catalyst. Very much so. Almost consider me a trigger. You start to lay your finger towards this trigger, and then it all unfolds. That's how my Father works. Eternity explained with a sheet of paper. I'm here, and I'm ready to battle. I'm ready to battle for my brothers from different mothers. I'm ready to battle for the truth. I'm ready to give the children all and everything. No secrets. Just all about the glory, the prominence, the privilege, the gift. Life. Life is the gift. Any that have it, any that breathe in and out the design of this universe, or their very being, have the gift. And that gift has been given by God alone. And it is to be taken by God alone. But God never takes it back. He only gives it and asks that you hold on to it and see it as precious and never let it die. Bringing it forth always to a higher state of being, not by destruction, but continual creation. Man is not nature. Man has risen above nature. But when you concede the laws of nature, of which you have already been the pinnacle of rising above, and then you use those laws in an unnatural fashion to the other people that show by their very being have risen above as well, and then you judge them with the same chaos in which you see in the past, you've made a mistake. They're here in the future. They're not caught in a cycle of destruction and renewal by your hand. They are already showing the cycle of progression, overcoming the repetitiveness, overcoming the tradition, overcoming the forces, becoming unique, becoming sovereign, having true will to be what they want to be, regardless of what you change them to be. I promise you that. I promise you that. I'm here for you, Benjamin. I'm here for you. And Jesus Christ's words are going to fulfill with me, through me, and all around me. I promise you I'm the catalyst. I promise it. We're going to get this mission done. Woe unto Babylon! You have done plenty wrong and no good. You have even caused your own doom in trying to cause mine. Didn't you learn one simple thing? Stealing honey will get you stings. You have built the fire to burn the ones that won't let you destroy, and the ones that will, you readily employ. But that won't save you from us few. Even your curfews cannot stop us from talking truths to the peoples, worshiping your gods under your church steeples. I agree, it has bought you time, but as sure as this rhyme has an ending, so do you. Babylon, you're doomed. That was a poem I wrote over 20 years ago. Just quietly, we have been bringing this to fruition. Just quietly. There we go, guys. Let's just bring it back just a little bit. Give me a second. I don't got a lot of high technology like these guys do. You know, I'm working with the spirit. I'm not working with materialism. You know, that's their thing. I got a different thing going on. You know, they deal with the subnatural. I deal with the supernatural. You know? And of course it shows. This video is so important. I don't know what I've done. I was right there where I needed to be at that placement and somehow skipped past it. But it's going to be worth it, guys. We're going to explain to you about Benjamin and the left hand. And I'm trying to get us back to the point where they showed the individual with the left hand and then how I said everything about it. And I had no idea what I just showed you. I didn't even know his name was Andre Benjamin yet. And then I started to remember last night about Benjamin and it being his brother's, being Judah being Benjamin's keeper. Yeah. And I decided to check if this connection with the left hand, you know, and then I found out that it was the Benjamites. And then I looked into the Benjamites and then realized, hey, that's what I basically discovered when I was talking to Bill about the Lion of Judah, that Judah was Benjamin's keeper. And then Jesus is born of Judah and he teaches the love for everyone. And then here I am, his disciple, and he has brought through every step of this. Every step of this. So as I said, there is the Benjamite being shown with a wounded left hand, which does what? It's been designed to keep them down, as the rest of the populace as well, because of the left hand connection to the right hand hemisphere of the brain. Right? But of course, then they would see this as the left hand hemisphere of the brain that they've constrained him in, without none of y'all really understanding it. You know? So his left hand is in connection to Benjamites, which are famous militants and warriors. You know what I mean? That are connected to David, that are connected to Saul, that are connected even with their disagreements with David, but then you see they side with David in the end, but then you see these that think that they're David You see that these people call themselves or think of themselves of the house of David do not side with Benjamin in the end. Remember, it's the 10 lost tribes, Benjamin and Judah excluded. Thank the Lord. You know, I'm not lost. I'm not lost. I know what is real. I know what real love is. They've gone into the house of mirrors to find themselves. I've gone in the house of mirrors to find them and bring them out. So let's take a look here at the spirit of truth that can give you, and then let you know that it's battle time and that I got a real God on my side. There are only 3 mentions. Oh, there's their God right there, right on cue, the war machine, the big plane, right? The Iron Bird. There are only 3 mentions of left-handed people in the Bible, and all of them refer to members of the tribe of Benjamin. Only 3. There are only 3 mentions. Now, as I say some of this, there's all kinds of things that fractivate. Of course, the division of the 3 cities, of which when they teach their Aryan pupils and disciples, they're saying, well, we're dividing the 3 essences of the symbolic left-handed Benjamites out of the 3 cities, out of London, out of DC, and then out of the Vatican. Of course, out of the religious truth, out of the monetary privilege, and out of the military might, benefit thereof. So, but as I told you, it's not just these. But of course, they have to use this as the main focus so that they can use so many of their own to get them to do the dirty work too. But I told you they get divided away as well. Jesus has told us that. Jesus Christ has told us that. And whether you think you're getting divided away or not by these men, I'll tell you one thing. These actions will be divided and casted away into the fire by the Father in paradise, by His living word, by His promise, and I can guarantee it. If you attach your personality and your prerogatives to these actions, then you shall go with them. Detach yourself from these things. Don't cremate your care of these people. Cremate your care of this bullshit that you're about to do to these people. I come with the truth. This truth is going to see me through. Is your truth going to see you through? When you're at adversity to the very laws of the universe itself. My Father is real. Your fathers are fading fast. I guarantee you that. I speak with power and authority that is not my own. And you wonder if I'm ever going to be able to flex it. Well, we'll just have to see, right? Because it's going to happen. Right? You can't kill me. I know too much. I know too much about you and what's going to happen to you. Yeah, so you need to find that out, don't you? I'll tell you what, stealing honey will get you stings. Remember in Revelation, somebody's been given a little book. He says, in its mouth, it's sweet like honey, but in his belly, it's bitter. And I have had a bitter belly of a time with this and delivering this, but it's been so sweet in my mouth like honey to attract all you bees, right? Thinking I'm coming from some super hive, but in all actuality, I've attracted everyone from the super hive, right? So now you're going to seek to steal this honey. But didn't you learn one simple thing? Stealing honey gonna get you stings. You think you got a legion around you? You think you know a legion of devils that are going to back you? Well, I know legions upon legions upon legions of celestial hosts that have already submitted these devils under their rule. You understand nothing, and I can prove it. Until you humble yourself to the truth as a little child, to a loving, trusting Father who cares and is forgiveful and merciful, you ain't gonna be able to enter the kingdom. But as long as you commit the acts in and out of your mind of this violence and this destruction, this hatred for people that live and breathe and move upon this earth, regardless of what skin tone they are, you are in the sights of eternal annihilation. I promise you that. I promise you that. Remember the numbers on that turnstile of 406 and the horns are blowing. Divide that by 2. Guess what? That's me, 203 Harverstville Road. The trumpeting angels I used to carve. You remember that? All right, my friends. Left-handed Benjamites. Remember what we learned in Luke 17:35 through the other left. One will be taken, the other left. One will be taken, the other left. One will be taken, the other left. Huh? Watch how this works. Watch how this works. Olympic rings. Olympic rings, right? Leaving one out. That's what you're going to see in this movie. Only 4 teams can get in. They're leaving one out. You know who that is? That's Benjamin. Olympic rings leaving one out. What does that do? It makes 4 left. It makes the other 4 the left. The very left that they're making these guys. Remember, do unto others as you'd have done unto you. And then what does Jesus Christ say ultimately about your plan, what you plan to do, and then what happens to you within it, and then of course what happens to those that you left that are still true to him, that are the right. Do you understand anything? Do you understand anything? Do you understand that I have been moved like a chess piece over the playing field of your front line? And the hand that wields me is the master chessman, the master craftsman, the master chief of all. Not fun and games, but Jesus business. I don't have a professional deuce. I got the profession of the truth. And if you want to see it in a double, we know it's a sharp, 2-edged sword that smites everything out the way that doesn't understand the greatest of the 2 commands. Love your neighbor as yourself, and the Father with all your might. You do that, you got the sword. You do that, you got the shield. And then you're ready for battle. Then you're ready for battle. All of their spies and their satellites and their mess ain't got nothing on me. Ain't got nothing on me at all. You guys are playing a game with men, evolved men themselves, beasts of the earth, that have become so haughty that they're seeking to smite their own with deception and tricks of the broad ways, he even says here. And then you think you're going to outplay my Father. Huh? You think that you're going to outplay my Father at a game to win people's lives and souls to the truth? How ignorant are you? I see how hateful are you, but you've always given yourself some form of label of knowledge and intelligence. You know what I mean? I'm a dangerous man to you. Very dangerous man to you. My danger increases the moment you lay hands on me. Not because I plan to bring the heat, but because I want to deliver the light. I'm going to deliver the light, and people are going to see, and they are going to drop from your doctrine like the flies that you've made them, the sand flies that they've become. All about that carcass in which Jesus Christ talked about, whither the body is, there will the eagles be gathered. Flies and carcasses go together. Venus and flies go together. Sandflies and dogs and symbols and Venuses and Ishtars and sacred feminines go together. You put the label on one, but of course you're the one that creates the label. It's in your mind. It's your intent. It's your heart's desire. Therefore, it's your manifest. Your manifest. I speak about things that are before me, that I can see, that come from what you look to as the truth. None of this is mine. I've gone into the house of mirrors to bring those out, not to keep them in. And then you judge me by the very mirror in which all of you are looking at, in which I'm having to reverse it back to the truth for you. Who can keep their sanity? To a death that you thought in essence was limiting his power of this truth that he delivers, when in all actuality it was the very catalyst that delivered it to the whole world at that moment, ever and anon. The spirit of truth has been poured out upon all flesh. I represent that spirit well. So let's bring forth the battle. Let's get this party started. Now, notice how Jackie has established himself as the red and the white. Right there, boom. As I said, he balanced himself here with the green. There's the checkerboard with the green and the yellow. So he's balanced himself in his preference for who is green, and that is once again the red and the white, Upper and Lower Egypt, which we know the two ladies, Nekbet and Wadjet. This is the royal children that is being referred here. And then, as I said, there's Benjamin, who is not a member of the 10 lost tribes. In other words, those 10 horns that are blowing that he should hear, and all the signs are there. But he can't see it. He can't see it because he's looking to them rather than looking to the truth of Jesus Christ. I see it. I look to the truth of Jesus. Now I can warn. So as I said, there's the left-hand symbolism of which what? They have impeded his progress along the path. Through the educational system, they sought to keep all children at the right hand, of which is confined to the left brain. And in essence, to keep the entire American populace down. But then, of course, one that has a special genetic link with the left hand, and that would be the Africans through the line of Benjamin. That's right. Remember when I said this is about Hebrew patriarchs being connected to Afrocentricity, I guess. I'm not sure how to say it. And this is where these guys got the problem. And you just see him being marked with Benjamin now. And now you understand why the Father has chosen me with my connection here with this reggae music, and why these guys haven't understood, and I haven't really understood. I've just never cowered down. I love reggae. It's the only music I listen to. And it just so happens to be dark-skinned people that are singing it, in which I understand why. Because they've experienced much sufferation. And then Jesus Christ says he brings many sons into glory through sufferation. Therefore the Spirit of truth is poured out upon them. They have wailed it through their souls. And I've heard the message of the Spirit of truth. Every time these Rastamen say I and I have been amazed. They don't just say I, the singular I. They say I and I. I and I. So the Spirit of truth speaks to them. I don't revere Rastafari, Selassie, but I do revere the Spirit of truth that speaks and motivates and urges everyone onward and ever inward to the progression of the Paradise Father truth, of which the living word is Jesus Christ. That's what I revere. And I don't judge men that have evolved along the path into an ever-loving understanding of that truth. You know? I just continually beckon them further as I walk with them further into my own. So there is our marked Benjamin with the yellow, the corn, the children of the corn. As I said, he is a singular red that is now being marked for trauma. And if we, can you imagine what these people want to do to me now? But how scared shitless they are to do it. And they better be. They better be. Not because my father's horrific, or not because my father is vengeful and wrathful and angry. No, but because my father will protect his own, and has foretold that he will. Not a hair of my head shall be hurt. Not a hair of my head shall be hurt, but lots of hairs of their heads who are seeking to hurt the hairs of others. And you just saw the symbolism. Let's speed this up here a little bit because it's about to get super crucial. I've done more talking than I've really wanted to here. And there's Andre Benjamin, who you see has a problem with this ring. He's got a problem with this ring here. And it's going to be with the guy, Monix, the number 11, who's got the ring. And you're going to see the setup where they tell Benjamin that he's never getting the ring. Give me a second here. I'm going to drink my coffee. Y'all guys go ahead and mark me. Mark me all you want. Mark me as the man that sought to lay down his life for the love of his brothers, regardless of color, race, or creed. I'm laying my life down for you guys as well, to get you to see, at the cost of what your highest want to do to me. I guess it's not courage the cowardly lion any longer, is it? All my courage comes from Jesus. It's not me. It's not me. He's in me. He's in me, and he's ready to meet you. He's ready to come face to face through his believer, as he foretold that there will be some that do greater works than I do now, because I go to my Father. Once he goes to the Father, he promised he would pour his Spirit out upon all flesh, depending on the capacity that they had to receive it. Some 30, some 60, some 100. I'm here, Jesus. Regardless of my parents' inability to understand, of course they can't understand. Of course, any of y'all probably can't understand either. You know? Who in the world is this guy? You know? How does he do all this? How do he figure all this out in such a short time? Almost 4 years. Fourth Carpenter. Go look at the black and white version of the movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still, guys. Huh? Remember my analogy with the tape and the cord? Everything's stopping for a moment the day the earth stood still. Oh boy. And then I said a lot of people are going to experience the past, present, and future of which they have subscribed. Right? And that's going to be all destruction, makes everything hunky-dory, right? Killing and murder and deceiving, that's the way to the path to the kingdom, right? Huh? No, that's not right. Two wrongs don't make a right. And there we go. Look what he's got in his hand, guys. This is where the dude looks like a lady. He's got eyeliner. He's got the eyeliner on. That's the dude that looks like a lady. And of course, this is the symbology of getting all the other people in the organization to pretend like the dudes that look like ladies. At least esoterically revealing at different levels that perspective. And only to the higher and the higher and the higher, the increasing perspective in connection with the sacred feminine that then connects back with the ultimate agenda of Lucifer, now through the manifesto coming to the fallen prince Enki, of course, which is connected with the Arion through Satan, that now disconnects and disallows, as you see the other portion of the dark side, in essence, as they have translated it, from entering into the kingdom. Right? Right. So there's the dudes that look like ladies, and I'm doing the best I can. I'm holding the camera in one hand, and I'm having to, and that's where he establishes. He says, let me get a maxi pad out, and there's the trick of the Broadway right there. You got to see that, huh? Look at the dude that just came up with the number 4 shirt on. Oh my gosh. Trap, 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 trap. Point of no return. Horse in the trailer. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Tropical storm. Hurricane. They're going to hypnotize them. Don't blink. Jackie tips the ball away, and then Twiggy picks it up. The twig. Oh my gosh. Watch this. They're the dudes that look like ladies, got them mesmerized. 44 and the 33. He's in between the mirror. He don't know what's going on. He thinks he's a 4, but remember, he's the 4 that gets divided away. As I told you, the 44 cleaves one half of itself. Jesus Christ said their kingdom is divided. Their kingdom is divided. If Satan's kingdom is divided, wow. A trick from the broad way. Jesus Christ said, broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, Jackie Moon. And you're trying to lead other people into it because you're so scared if you don't, it happens to you because it's prophecy. It's going to unfold. So you put yourself into action as the catalyst for the destruction, when in actuality, it's the catalyst for the destruction of you. Do unto others as you've had done unto you. You can't compute. You're not as fast as the Spirit of Truth. My draw will forever be faster. Quick on the draw. You can't outrun the Spirit of Truth. You put me in your hands, you won't find that. And I'll slip through your hands like the sands of time. Better believe it. You can't hold what you don't know of. How can you own what you don't know? Babylon, you don't know me. You only use me as a number to set on your side of the balance. Taken my eyes and tried to replace them, dedicated them for your causes. Woe unto you, you've done plenty wrong and no good. No good. A trick. Who's he tricking? Who are they going to tell you he's tricking in connection with the Broadway, now New York City, all those pretty lights, and then the glare of the lights? Well, of course, that would be the Africans. But then, of course, you know that it mixes in with everybody else, too. Of course, even all their other Caucasians. Huh? You were either here cause or to. You were either here because or to cause something. And then the Caucasians. You know what I mean? But which are they? To cause or because? Some of them think they're both. But guess what? Guess what? You ever heard of cause? Then FX? FX. Getting effed. Huh. You might want to rethink it. Tricks from the Broadway. Do I need to rethink it? Shit, because I just basically completely exposed through the Spirit of Truth their entire heinous, sinister plan, in which, let me turn to what they're doing to the whites next. You know? The rest of you guys that think you're in. The rest of Hollywood that thinks they're in, like Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber and Nigel Houston and all you guys. Huh? Eric Costin and good old boys at Thrasher Magazine. Wait till I tell you what they got in plan for you. Same symbology in this whole entire movie, guys. You're in here too. Huh? Oh, shit. Come on, you guys doubt me? You doubt me? Probably do. You doubt Jesus Christ. That's what holds me up. Everything I've said has unfolded, and it will continue. Anybody listen to me that knows me personally from around the way, you have got to think that something is mounting big. It is. I'm ready for it. Born for it. There's the number 4. Everybody saw him. I told you, I said the 4 was marked for red, right? Making them think that he's blue, Blue Ivy, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Think about Will Smith's kid. That's the willow connected with the weeping willow. But it's the weeping willow. Somebody's crying, right? Somebody's going to be crying. And we see who it switches back to if you know this movie for the Fractal Complete. So anyway, that's the 4 that they tried to psych out, that they're using the trick of the Broadway, making him, in essence, the point, the objective of the asses, as that 1-4 that's turned into a viper. Here's where all the others start to cry, where they kind of shift the code back, in essence, to all of them, which is what we would see where you can't catch them because the rabbit done died. They're all supposed to experience a little trauma, at least from our perspective. But we know who the real trauma was aimed at with that red 4, where they trapped him, they psyched him out, they hypnotized him with the trick of the broad way. Everything will reveal to you. I know how much is at stake. That's why I speak the way that I do about it. This is the commissioner. Notice the symbol behind him, the seal. The cross and the sphere, which I'm going to tell you is connected to the symbol for the moon, which I would connect then to the crescent with then those warriors riding on top of it with the bow and arrow. And then we'll connect it to symbolism with Venus and the supposed comet with the tail, and then we'll really understand what all that's about. We really will. So they were seeing something about an apple on the TV there. It was the red apple that it said it's still keeping them all interested. That apple. That red apple still keeping them all interested. Now look who's all fighting. Why can't we be friends? Look, divide and conquer, as I said. Everybody against everybody. That's their plan. That's their agenda. I see it. I can foretell it. There's the apple. Bam. New red apple soda. Still keeps them all interested. Okay, we've seen enough of that. And there's more to say about it. It's all symbolic. Every second, every instant, every armband, every color, everything. The baby in her arms, the symbol behind them, everything about it. And you're going to see now why. They've just come back from the game. They're not happy with the performance. And this is where we're going to see Benjamin and number 11, Monix, have some words about this particular ring. You have to see this. Bill, all you occultic people, JCHARR 73, Queenie Cameron, Fab Fisher, Xeon, what are you thinking? Remi's back. Huh? What are you thinking, girl? Huh? What you gotten yourself involved with this witchcraft? She thought these guys were trying to help you. Oh, y'all guys' whole world is just shattered. Shattered, not the way that you thought it was. The people who you thought were shattering the mirror ain't the people who are shattering your mirror. Eric, Covenant of Love, yeah. Almost forgot you there, buddy. MDLD 40, right? Huh? All of y'all. Illuminati Land. Oh, man. 777 AEJ. Jonathan Kleck, God's Healer. Look at all y'all people putting those African Americans in your faves to kind of hope that people don't understand what you guys are about. Shame on you. Shame on you. Here's where Monix is about to do it. There's the ring. He says he takes the ring off his neck as a token of what you will never achieve. And he is about to forcefully hurl this ring. The symbolism of the bride, rapture turning now into the raptor. He's going to hurl it at Coffee Black, telling him you're never going to receive this ring. But he wants him to receive the token of the action of him throwing and hurling this ring at him, this sword and stone at him. And remember, this man's name is Andre Benjamin in real life. Remember, his name is Clarence Withers. Withers, as in the lotus flower, telling him he's never going to achieve the ring. What's his number on his jersey, people? It's number 7. Remember, that's the achievement of the crown chakra, which they're tricking these guys and thinking they're helping to bring them to, which tells you right now they ain't doing nothing but bringing them to destruction. We'll show you that in Guardians of Gahu. That's keeping lunars on the path. Got to keep them lunars on the path, right? Dreamweaver. You know, fly me away to the bright side of the moon, then meet me on the other side. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I urge you to stop. I urge you to find the love. I urge you to find the truth. I urge you to seek Jesus Christ and repent of this sin, of this hatred, of this malice, of this violence, doing unto others as you'd have done unto you. If you think somebody's done it to you in the past, then it's okay. Bullshit. Stop the cycle. That's your cycle of traditional bullshit. It doesn't give you the right to do it to somebody else again. Whether you've translated correctly, incorrectly, or whatever, stop the cycle. Two wrongs don't make a right. What are you not getting here? You're pissing your career away. There's that yellow color. And that's what he's saying to him. You're going to realize one day in the future that you never learned how to play basketball. What's basketball, guys? Remember E.T. with E.T. in the basket? And I told you the basket is the ephah from Zechariah 5, where she will be established on her own base, but then that wickedness and blackness, because ephah means blackness. And then it also means ergo, it means cancer, it means grain, it means dry grain, a dry measure of grain, right? And then now we see that the basketball fulfills the fractal as the ephah ball, the ephah Baal. And they're saying you guys ain't ever learned what it's all about. It's all about the Aryans. At least from these guys' perspective. It ain't all about the Aryans. It's about love. It's about truth. It's about mercy. And ain't none of that shit you guys practicing noble or harmonious or godlike or divine. It ain't nothing but devil-like and wrong. And God has chosen me to stand up to you all. And I'm going to bring it all down with Jesus in me, with his word, as he said, the word that I spoke shall judge them in the last day. The word that he lived, the word that he spoke, would judge them in the last day. You got your finger on that trigger? You got your finger on that trigger, Babylon? I'm that trigger. Benjamin, don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. The tribe of Judah and its symbolic, truthful manifest is here. Is here. And we are your keeper. As we are all the keepers of each other, even from different mothers. That's Jesus speaking. You guys know Jesus? You just know some BS. There's that bus. There's that jet. Got some bad moon rising, don't we? We got some bad stuff rising. Well, I'm telling you what. You guys, if you are a part of this, you should be scared. You really should be. And you should be scared of your own reflection, because it's what's doing it. You're scared of yourself. You should be scared of yourself. Look at that man in that fur coat. Remember the fur of the flying? It's going to come up. It's going to come up. The fulfillment of what Jesus sees allows me to teach, and it's going to manifest. He's going to back my word up every second, every moment. Back it up. Back it up. Even the things that I have said wrong, I can still back up for what he's trying to get me to understand, and then you'll understand it. Oh boy. We're coming to the close of the video. Last shall be first, first shall be last. We're going to begin. We began where we end, and now we're going to end where we began. And sooner or later, you people are going to get it right. But only if you're in the light of truth, which is projecting on all, casting no spiritual shadows, only those in the form of a material shadow of a spiritual protection. Boom. The hammer. Then there's the guy with the fur and the black and white hat. Uh-oh. They're saying that they ain't bringing him together. He's still that duality. It's got the hammer. Then they show the guy with the fur. There we go. Coffee black. Number 7. Somebody's got to be smelling the horns here. Somebody's going to be smelling the coffee that the 10 horns are blowing against you, man. You might want to hear them horns blowing. Cynthia on the throne, yeah. Now there he is. Jackie Black got the hammer, going to smack him down. Boom. Now Jakari and Queenie Cameron, with your little video that you guys got, do you know that you are now accountable? You are accountable not by satanic men, but you are accountable by the truth of my Father. And that all of your secrets are exposed right here. And that the sight that I have is his sight, which means he's true. And then you guys know that really in your heart. You see how all this is unfolded. There ain't no way to stop it. You deny the supernatural reality of what's going on with me, then you're beginning to deny your own existence, because you're denying the Creator that created you, and you deny him in me, which means now you deny him in you. The wages of sin is death. The repercussions thereof will catch you. This is the fur of flying, the black and the white hat, as you can see. And then this is Jackie with the smackdown. Right after you should smell, or you should hear the horns blowing. Benjamin, you should have heard the horns blowing. Maybe you do, Benjamin. Maybe you do hear them now. Maybe you do hear them. Okay, guys, what we just went through was, in the movie, was the left-handed Benjamites keeping the Lunars on the path. In the scene, Jackie is red and white. Eyeliner, dudes looking like ladies. Divide and conquer. That's the 44, where that 4 is established as red. As I said, they're trying to divide. Jackie's only trying to mirror with himself. That's the Scarlet Crime Sun, as they have marked someone, which is really the mark of themselves. A trick of the broad way. Jesus Christ is held up as the truth and revealer of this trick. Number 6, horse in the trailer. Wow. Hypnotize. Where you going to go? Can't get out. Trap, trap, trap. Now we see number 7. Benjamin never receives the ring. Number 7, interesting, because that's his number, and then that's that crown chakra, which represents he doesn't receive his royalty. And then now we go to the understanding of the 5 Olympic rings. Of course, timed against the movie where the 4 teams are welcomed into the NBA. 1 team is left out. Leaving 1 out of the Olympic rings means Benjamin's left out. That black colored ring, now we see, makes 4 left. Now it turns the left onto Jackie Moon and Monix. They become the left that we see Jesus Christ is really talking about, ultimately in his truth of saving. Smell the coffee, black. That's at 8. Interesting. The 10 horns are a-blowing. You know who they are now. The 10 horns of the dragon, which we know are the 10 lost tribes of Israel. All about that unicorn, that unihorn, not unifying with the children of the corn. And then we see the 10 lost tribes of Israel fulfill. And then, as I see here, Psalm 7 will establish Benjamin as a Cushite, other words, a Nubian connected to Ethiopia. And then I have copied something from a website, and it says, perhaps the biblical writers simply enjoyed a bit of a wordplay. The name Benjamin means son of my right hand. Perhaps the irony, that's their words, not mine, of a left-handed son of a right-hander's caused the biblical writers to take note in these cases. So in other words, Benjamin literally means son of my right hand, which they don't like that, because then Jesus Christ talks about lifting up those to the right hand of God. You get me? So now they establish him as left-handed, but then when I reveal the connection to the left hand equaling the right hand of the brain, now you begin to understand what they're trying to stop you guys from seeing. Of course, it's about keeping one portion of the races severely down so they cannot achieve this equality of this understanding of the progresses of this world of science and spirituality. That's what it's all about. So you saw the 406 Geiger does what? It says the horns are blowing, but I'm blowing the horn as well. Divide that by 2 through the truth of Jesus Christ, which is what? Love your neighbors yourself. Love the Father with all your might. And now we see 23 Harpersville Road. I'll be back.